with his other followers. Not to mention giving up your hard-earned money to the fucking church, wasting your intelligence on theological endeavors, and boring the hell out of fucking people who really don't want to hear your good news, buddy. I think also, believing when you actually don't believe, you would have lost a great deal of self-respect by being intellectually dishonest, buddy. With yourself, I think, your whole life, and everybody else. Rich, I can't turn around and say, well, why don't you believe anyway? Because if you do, then you're going to get to heaven. And, of course, if there is no God, then, then you have nothing to lose. Yeah. If God's omnipotent and brilliant and all that kind of stuff, then he's going to fucking know what I'm doing. Let me believe, kind of, come on. Cynthia writes in a question, what do you believe? Well, Cynthia, I don't know how you're directing that at me. Okay, I don't know what you mean by what do you believe. Do I believe that we need oxygen to breathe? Yeah. I believe in human dignity. That's what I believe, because that's who we deal with every day. We deal with fellow human beings. We're not born dirty sinners. We are born at Earth's we are Earth's most intelligent and adaptive creatures. We have the ability to overcome adversity without help from mysticism, superstition, and invisible friends. That's what I think. I think, me personally, I believe in treating my fellow man as like he would want to be treated, which I think is a humanist idea. Thousands of years fucking older than Christianity. We believe that humans are fully capable of deciding our own purpose in life. That's what atheists believe. I believe that the comfort that religion theoretically offers is more than offset by the amount of pain, death, and suffering it's caused throughout history. I believe that religion has hindered the advancement of human knowledge more than any other single cause, and is still doing it today. We lost 500 years of fucking science because of religion. We should be like fucking warp drive by now. But religion got in the way. I believe that humanism is much better source for ethics than Bronze Age, dogma. I'm sorry. Just about anybody could make a better set of commandments than God did. I read across these in ethicalatheist.com. I read across just really because I read a lot of atheistic material and what other people think and all that kind of stuff. And what they did is they wrote 10 Commandments, and it's called the Atheist 10 Commandments, which is better than God's 10 Commandments. Let me explain. Number 1, thou shalt not believe anything you're told. Thou shalt consistently seek knowledge and truth. Thou shalt educate thy fellow man in the laws of science. Thou shalt not forget the atrocities committed in the name of God. Number 5, thou shalt leave valuable contributions for future generations. Number 6, thou shalt live in peace with thy fellow man. Number 7, thou shalt live this one life, thy half to its fullest. Number 8, thou shalt follow a personal code of ethics. Number 9, thou shalt maintain a strict separation between church and state, which we are sadly fucking lacking. And number 10, thou shalt support ye who follow these commandments. There you go. I believe in a future that allows humans to be free of blinders, superstition, and religion. free to use their minds to question the universe around them, unafraid of the wrath of some fucking invisible, omnipresent judge, or I don't know, or even his most, I don't know, even the people that present and judge through him, his human representatives, the church, the pastors, whatever, I think mostly, though, I believe that the world actually has a future. Unlike the Christians who envisions a very short future indeed, where the king of creation is coming next week or next year or fucking 100 years from now or 10 years from now, because we're always in the fucking end times, to lose horrible demons and monsters and plagues and diseases upon the world before totally destroying it. That's what you Christians believe. That is some depressing shit. No wonder all y'all are fucking depressed about something. Tyler writes, but you must be forgiven for your sins. And since you do not believe in a God, you are going to hell. Okay. Well, Tyler, what if I told you there was no such thing as a sin? You'd be, well, it says so in the Bible. See, that's where you start getting fucking flawed again. Let's just say the Bible out of it. What if I told you there's no such thing as a sin? Sin is a concept that is sold to you by your religion, buddy. Would you buy again, what I quoted before, would you buy a bandage from a person who comes up to you and cuts you in order to sell you a fucking bandage? No. There is no such thing as a sin. There's such thing as laws being broken. But if you have a natural tendency to want to do something, how is that bad? I mean, it might be bad to your fellow man. It might be bad that you should probably not fucking do that because you're opposing your will on others. But if you have an inclination to do something, how is that a sin? I don't get it. It might be fucking fucked up, but how is it a sin? Lisa wrote, what do you do if you feel that you're really wronged another person or have done something bad? You can't go to Jesus for forgiveness. As an atheist, I can't do that. That's what she's saying. Well, Lisa, that's right. We can't. So we either have to get forgiveness from the person we've wronged or live with it. If you think about it, it makes us think a lot harder about doing something before we do it. The religious person can just go on and do it, knowing that he could easily be forgiven by God. He doesn't even have to ask for forgiveness from the person he's wronged, because as long as God forgives him, that's all that fucking matters. I'll give you an example. Do you know that Hitler was a Christian? He was actually born a Catholic. And since he probably asked for forgiveness in his last hours, that's what I'm thinking, he should be in heaven right now, right? I mean, wouldn't that be fair? Let's say that after he killed 6 million Jews, let's say that after he was literally probably the worst terrorist ever. Let's say that in those final hours before he died, he realized his wrongs and said, you know what, God, could you please forgive me? Are you, as a Christian, going to tell me that he's up in heaven right now? And if you are going to tell me that yes, if he asked for forgiveness, he is, then you're a fucking idiot. Sorry. What about Anne Frank's only sin that she was Jewish? So to Christians, she should be in hell now, along with Albert Schweitzer, who was a non-believer, right? I mean, that's what you're thinking. Now, I'm not making these up. These are all questions that I've gotten. And like I said, a couple of other questions, This is a question that was posed on a chat board on Facebook, Talk, T-O-K. If you have a chance to check it out from Facebook, it's one of those little add-on thing or jigs or whatever. It's a debate site. that runs off of Facebook, and somebody asked, not me personally, but somebody else says, "How can you not believe in the resurrection of Jesus Christ?" In my thought, well, rationally considered, it's a pretty outlandish claim. I think. I mean, nobody in the history of the world has ever done it. I mean, nobody's ever fucking come back. I mean, and outside of the Bible, there's no mention of Jesus' resurrection anywhere in historical documents, nor is there a mention of, any of the other supposed resurrections that took place on the same fucking day. According to Matthew, chapter, I think it's 27, 51, or no, Matthew 27, 52, and 53. And I quote, "And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went unto the holy city, and appeared unto many." Now, you would think somebody outside of the Bible would have fucking written that down somewhere. Listen, I just saw my Uncle fucking Jack. I don't know what the fuck's going on with that shit. No, not a single thing. Not one. I mean, let's carry it a little further. Let's talk about the big guy. Let's talk about Jesus. Let's look at the logic of his death. First of all, God is angry at us for disobeying, him in the Garden of Eden, and condemns us all. That's what he did. That's what it says. Number two, he sends his son to die on earth to appease himself. "I send my son unto you to die for your sins." For me. Okay. Number three, then he forgives only those who believe in his son, and the rest are still condemned. Okay. Why would God create people so imperfect and then blame them for his own imperfections? Then sent his own son to be murdered by those imperfect people to make up for how imperfect those people were and how imperfect they were inevitably going to be. I mean, that's a bunch of bullshit. Come on. Why didn't he just forgive us outright? I mean, why did he condemn his son to all that suffering and torment at the hands of people he's planning to forgive? Just so he wouldn't send us all to hell. I mean, if you're Catholic, it gets weirder. God and Jesus are the same person. Okay? So in essence, he sent himself to be tortured and crucified to appease himself. Does that make any sense? Let's look at it another way. God's mad at us for eating the apple. God sends his son to earth to be killed by us. He had to know this was going to fucking happen, okay? I mean, we kill him. God's not mad at us anymore. Does that make any sense? Let me do it one more time. God is mad at us for eating the apple. God sends his son to earth to be killed by us. We kill him. God's not mad at us anymore. Does that make any fucking sense? I mean, really? Does it? I mean, he subjected his own son to torture and a painful death just to make a loophole in his own fucking law. So that he could forgive us for it. So again, why not just forgive us? What kind of father would have his son tortured and crucified when he had the power to prevent it? I mean, realistically, he could have turned around and said, okay, listen, I'm going to appear in the sky. Here's what I'm going to do, because it's never fucking happened. So I'm going to appear in the sky and tell everybody simultaneously, because I am fucking God, I could pull this off. Simultaneously, everybody's going to know that I exist. Appear to everybody at the same time in the world. He can pull that shit off, right? And then we have no more problems. Nope, doesn't do that. Tortures his son for it. Jeff asked me, don't you wish that you could go to heaven? I hadn't thought about that much. I mean, as a Christian, I know that